We're in the night country now, my friend, where the shadows don't give way. With the frost and the fear to keep us close, we'll track him before it's day. So steel your heart and load your gun. We're in the night country now.
So some of the Emmys have already been awarded. I'm not sure how this all works. There's multiple nights of Emmys culminating in like the primetime Emmys. Shogun has already won like 14 Emmys just in these early rounds. And Shogun was a great series. It was not a perfect series, but it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. It was a breath of fresh air in a lot of ways and just a great historical drama. Now, a show that has been nominated, I think the Shogun got 25 nominations. A show that has been nominated nearly as much as Shogun is True Detective Night Country with 19 nominations. I'm going to go through all these in a minute here, but if you remember any of my video discussions or articles about Night Country, you will know that I did not like it very much. I came to it, I was honestly excited. It was the first True Detective we've had in a long time, and it had Jodie Foster in it. So I was really looking forward to this. I thought the setting sounded cool, this Alaskan, nighttime, permanent night setting, right? What we got instead was a show that was just horrifically written. It was so bad. The dialogue was constantly so cringy. I don't know how many times Jodie Foster said, "You're not asking the right fucking questions," which of course is a reference. Again, we're going back to this ongoing theme of the constant references and member berries and everything. A reference to season 1, where Rust Cole says that at one time. In the context that really makes sense. He's being interviewed by these detectives, and he tells them this when they're not getting what he's throwing them. But anyways, that is just one of numerous ways that True Detective Night Country constantly references season 1 in weird and awkward ways, and that was just part of the problem. So there were so many problems with the show. I'm not gonna go off on all of them, but its treatment of Native Americans was really dipping hard into the noble savage trope. It used suicide in a glamorizing way, but suicide is actually a really big problem in indigenous communities. It portrayed Native Americans in general as very one-dimensional, but then also as like the heroes of the show. It was very like girl boss Native. We won't, and then it had a terrible mystery. I mean, fundamentally, the worst part about this show was that it was a bad mystery with very little detective work in a show called True Detective. Really, it should have been its own thing, but even as its own thing, it wouldn't have been great. Although maybe it would have avoided some of the pitfalls, like these Easter eggs and references to season 1. As well as the pitfall or just the unfortunate nature of having to compare it to season 1. If it had been its own thing, we would have all come at it with a different viewpoint. It might still not have been a great show, but maybe it would have been better. And I do think it would have at least been less anchored and dragged down by the anger of season 1. Well, really the first 3 seasons of True Detective, which, uneven. Season 2 is definitely not as good as the other 2 seasons, but still had sort of a similar feel. They all had a similar, they were very different, but they had running themes and stylistic choices that were just gone in season 4. Anyways, so 19 nominations. What is it nominated for? And I will say one of these I agree with. Just one. We'll get to it. Outstanding sound mixing for a limited or anthology series. The whole thing is everything's going to be limited or anthology series, so I'm not going to keep saying that, but outstanding sound mixing. I don't know. Whatever. It was fine, I guess. Outstanding special visual effects in a single episode. This is for part 1, the first episode. And if you remember, I'll tell you what really clued me in right away that something was wrong was the very beginning of part 1 here, of the very first episode, when the caribou were running away from something. They never explained what it is, but the special effects were really bad. So I'm not sure why special visual effects would get a nomination here. That's weird. Outstanding production design. For a narrative contemporary program. Okay. The production design was okay. I mean, I'll give it that. It was fine. Nothing special. Outstanding writing for a limited or anthology series or movie for Issa Lopez. Issa Lopez might be a good writer, but none of that came across in this. And I think it's hilarious that this is nominated for Best Writing. Let's see. Outstanding Writing for a Limited or Anthology Series. The contenders are Baby Reindeer, Black Mirror, Fargo, Fellow Travelers, Ripley, and True Detective Night Country. I have seen Baby Reindeer, Fargo, and Ripley. I have not seen the new Black Mirror. I have not seen Fellow Travelers, so I can't speak to those. But I will say all three of these, and Fargo was a mixed bag. I had lots of complaints about Fargo, but all three of these are better than True Detective Night Country. I would give it to Baby Reindeer, personally. Ripley's cinematography and just its vibe was so unique. Just that black and white, kind of high contrast, very uncomfortable. It made you very uncomfortable in a way watching it. Really beautiful. Like from that perspective, I would give that cinematography probably. But in writing Baby Reindeer, I thought that was really, really well written, a really interesting and emotionally powerful show. But Fargo, even as much as I had complaints with Fargo, I would still say it's wildly better written than True Detective Night Country. Anyways, outstanding casting for a limited or anthology series. Yeah, I mean, they got Jodie Foster, which was great. They got John Hawkes? Yeah, John Hawkes. He's great. There was lots of good casting, and then there was also some pretty bad casting. I would say that her partner, Jodie Foster's partner, who's I can't remember her name right now. I don't think she was very good at all, frankly. I think she was not great. But even some of the great actors that they had in there were given such bad stuff to work with that they didn't come off as well. So I don't think I'd give them that. Studying music supervision, I don't know. Cinematography. Okay, here we go. There's another one. What is this up against? Because I thought the cinematography was very, very dull. There was nothing particularly special about it. Oh, look, Ripley already won this. Well, that's what I said I would give cinematography to. Look at me calling it. All right. Outstanding contemporary costumes. Nothing special about these costumes. Nothing bad about them. They were totally fine. They were fine. Outstanding directing for a limited. Outstanding directing. I think I already opened this one. Baby Reindeer, Fargo, Feud, Capote, and versus the Swans, Lessons in Chemistry, Ripley, True Detective. Again, I didn't see this. I didn't see Capote. I didn't see Lessons in Chemistry. Directing. I'm going to go between these two, Baby Reindeer and Ripley. Both very, very strong direction. I think Baby Reindeer, I would again say that I was more moved by that show than by Ripley, which, while good, was also just kind of cold. It was a very cold and distant show, but good. Okay, I'm going to keep going here. Outstanding picture editing. Okay, I don't care. Another outstanding picture editing. Outstanding contemporary makeup, non-prosthetic. I don't remember there being anything particularly good or bad about the makeup. You're not supposed to notice the makeup, right? Unless it's intentionally obvious, like face paint or something. Outstanding prosthetic makeup. I'm assuming that is this like the big frozen scientist blob with all the arms and stuff that they put in the hockey rink? Okay, that was kind of fun. Outstanding original music and lyrics. John Hawkes, yes. Okay, so he wrote that one song that they play in episode 5. Yeah, that No Use song. That was good. Absolutely, the best thing about this entire season was this song. So I'm here for this one. Absolutely. Only Murders in the Building, one for which of the Pickwick triplets did it. That was a great song too. That was hilarious. That was the best part of season 3 of Only Murders in the Building. So I'm good. But this is the one. This is the one that I approve of. The one out of these 19 that I definitely approve of is this song that John Hawkes wrote for True Detective. I liked that. It should have been the title song for the whole show. That would have been much more True Detective-y sounding. Outstanding supporting actor, John Hawkes. He did great. He just had shit to work with. Jodie Foster, outstanding lead actress in a limited. Who is she up against? Brie Larson in Lessons in Chemistry, Juno Temple in Fargo, Sofia Vergara in Griselda, Naomi Watts in Feud Capote Vista. So again, I didn't see any of these except for Fargo and Night Country, and I'm not going to lie, I love Jodie Foster, but I could not stand her in Night Country. I thought she did a bad job. Frankly, as a good actor as she is, she did a bad job. It wasn't just the lines. I mean, there were some cringy moments with Jodie Foster. Juno Temple did a great job as her character in Fargo, especially since she's British and really pulled off that very Midwestern Minnesota accent. Don't you know? Can you go to the commode, okay? Again, Fargo had some really good stuff this season and some really cringy stuff. So, support. Oh, here we are. Callie Reese. Now I remember her name. She talked shit to me on Twitter and we had a little spat. She's supporting actress. I mean, I would say that she's as much of a lead as Jodie Foster, so that seems a little weird. Dakota Fanning and Ripley was quite good. Didn't see Under the Bridge. I kept meaning to, but I was a little burnt out on that kind of. Jessica Gunning in Baby Reindeer was phenomenal. Again, I think I'm going to have to go with her here. I didn't see Lessons in Chemistry, Feud Capote. Navu Mao was fine in Baby Reindeer, but a much smaller role. I mean, I would say that, again, Jessica Gunning in Baby Reindeer was as much a lead as the main character in a lot of ways. She should probably be up for Best Actress, Lead Actress, not Support. But I'd give it to her. Callie Reese, if she gets this, I'm sorry. That would be a travesty because she just was not very good. And Jessica Gunning's character, I don't know if you've seen Baby Reindeer, you know what I'm talking about. She was a powerhouse in that. She was so freaky and scary and at the same time sympathetic and, you know, really what a show. What a show. And then it's up for the whole thing, right? Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series, period. Where did that go? Okay, so she's up against Baby Reindeer, Fargo, Lessons in Chemistry, Ripley. So I've seen all but Lessons in Chemistry. I don't know if that's any good. I'm going with Baby Reindeer again. I think by far and away, this was the standout show for me in this category. And then maybe Ripley, and then maybe Fargo. I don't even think Night Country deserves to be on this list. Like, it wasn't good. This is another instance of where, like, we see 93% or whatever it is on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's like, what are the critics even? What kind of drugs are they taking? Like, are they on really, really good drugs when they're watching this? Because I don't know anybody in real life, not even one person who liked this shit. None. I know people. I have friends from Alaska who are like, no, this does not represent Alaska very well, or the people of Alaska. But even beyond that, it was just a bad show. And then, outstanding sound editing the sound was fine. I don't know how they picked that. There was nothing that would really, like, leap out at me. Like, what is that? What are we up against? Oh, Ripley won. So some of these have already won. They do some stuff early because there's just too many categories to do them all in one night. It would take like 5 hours, like the Game Awards, which just takes forever. So anyways, that's all I really have to say. 19, I swear to God, it is like, there is this weird, I don't want to say conspiracy, but it's like, if you check the right boxes nowadays, like, your shit will get nominated. And it doesn't even have to do necessarily with, like, the representation. It's something else. There's something, because, like, Reservation Dogs is a really good show about Native Americans. It's really funny, well written. The actors are great. It's emotionally poignant and hilarious at the same time. It's authentic. You know, someone who grew up with a lot of Native American friends in a place where there are lots and lots and lots of indigenous people. I can tell you from firsthand experience that Reservation Dogs is authentic and accurate to Native American people and teenagers and that culture, which I've been around a lot. Whereas something like Night Country, it is fraudulent. It just does not reflect indigenous communities in an authentic way. But somehow that show gets like 19 nominations, and I think Reservation Dogs got one, and last year got snubbed. So what is the driving force here? It's sort of a popularity cliquey thing, right? There's something about this show and the people who made it where it just clicks. It just checks off the right boxes with the right clicks and somehow gets all these award nominations. Not because it's great, not because it's it's so impressive like Shogun or so out of left field like Baby Reindeer, but just because it checks these boxes. Female, a masculine show being handed over to women, the indigenous representation, even though it's not authentic, whereas Native Reservation Dogs is. All this, it's like premiere TV. I'm not sure how the wheelings and dealings work at a show like the Emmys, but I am pretty sure that it's bullshit. It is bullshit. So that's all I have to say about that. If you haven't seen Reservation Dogs, I highly recommend that. If you haven't seen Baby Reindeer, I highly recommend that as well. I thought it was extremely powerful, and it has some very disturbing stuff in it, but it's phenomenally well made. True Detective Night Country is only fun because you can make fun of how bad it is, and it really is that bad. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Peace.
So steal your heart, load your gun, we're in the night country now. So steal your heart, load your gun.